last time it just didn't happen for Neobility.
Yeah, Prelude, only 4 Hearthstone Championship Tour points leading up to this, which is a bit of surprise considering the performance he's had, and he has an opportunity to win. I mean, at 14 points, he is basically locked for Springs. But to win this tournament, I have to believe that is his major goal right now.
I don't think either of these guys really care about the points that much. I mean, money maybe, but you gotta win this tournament, man.
Is on the line, and Neobility,
he's gonna start with Zoo.
You know what? On a match-to-match basis, I would say that Neobility's got to be the favorite in this one. I mean, look at his ladder resume, how effective he's been on ladder season after season, his standings at the points, the play that we've seen from him so far. I mean, it's been super tight play, maybe 1 or 2 small little missteps. And Prelude, I mean, it's a close fight at that, but I mean, if he wins this, I mean, it's on a match-to-match basis, I would consider it a slight upset.
Well, I think it kind of comes back to what I was talking about the decks. And Prelude, maybe not the more decorated player, maybe doesn't have all those finishes, but a big part of tournament is preparation and the decks you bring.
Yes.
And you can make the argument these aren't the best 3 decks in the game right now, but the way they've functioned throughout this tournament in a Conquest format, they are doing wonders for him.
Darkshire Councilman, this is one of those very scary Warlock minions that was introduced with Whispers of the Old Gods. Sure, it's just a 1/5 now, but go ahead, leave it around for a turn and see what happens.
Yeah, honestly, a card a lot of people underrated, and it's easy to get carried away, but how do you really punish the 1/5 body the one turn it is that before it grows out of control?
Honestly, we haven't really seen it draw that often in these matchups too. I mean, it's been Imp Gang boss after Imp Gang boss. This guy's got to been tucked away in the deck for a while. Neobility's running 2 copies of it.
Yeah, and with Byleth Tidehunter, he's got even more ways to enable it to gain those extra buffs. So maybe even more centered around the Darkshire Councilman than other Zoo decks would be.
I'm curious if you're in Prelude's spot, how important is Execute right now? He's not going to go for it. And this is probably going to be a bit of an awkward order here for Neobility.
Yeah, you don't go for the juggle.
Yeah.
The 50-50 is very not worth it. 1 damage versus 1 card.
Excellent choice. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you
some decks would go for it.
Look,
I think Hunter would. I think Hunter would be like, well, I might need that damage.
Draw your card, idiot.
Thanks.
As Chalky so eloquently put it last game. I remember we used to play Arcane Golem and do that. Just here's your wild growth. For ya.
Man, too soon.
Yeah, sad days. Execute available.
Yeah, I have to imagine Execute's gonna come out.
Yeah, and we've seen Prelude kind of mix it up a little bit too. I mean, at times he's been very liberal with his removal, and at times he's been very conservative.
Yeah, doesn't choose to slam this, just gonna leave the juggler out. Could get punished a bit. But,
this is back-to-back juggles. Oh,
there's 1. Armor total not really relevant. It's all about the board here. No second juggle, so he's gonna have to go face.
I mean, Brawl I don't think is quite good enough here.
Nah, I mean,
it's
once
looking
you
like
brawl,
Slam Fiery War Axe on the Councilman. I mean, that's just a super clean turn.
Yeah, definitely is. Still leaving up that juggler, though, is a scary prospect.
It definitely is, but I think with Brawl in hand, you could kind of afford to let your opponent extend with the juggler. Like the juggler almost encourages them to extend the board because they get that extra damage from it.
And I feel like this is the type of hand Prelude is wanting in this matchup.
Yeah, lots of removal, 1 board clear to rely on.
No very heavy drops. Draw, no Deathwing in his hand early game.
That's 2 Sea Giants in Neobility's hand. If this board gets wiped up, his hand is dead for quite a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, the Forbidden Ritual is going to be met by a Revenge, so that's not really a saving grace for him. But I think Neobility's thinking how to sequence this. He could just trade first to stop armor. I think he's going to trade with the Juggler, save the health on the Flame Imp, knowing that the Juggler is the bigger threat, so it's most likely going to be the one to get axed off.
Yeah, 2 Flame Imps on board.
The big question is, though, is this board threatening enough?
I think so.
Do you go for Brawl? He's got other options. Could Axe, Cruel Task.
The Brawl will result in a complete board
I like
clear,
the Brawl.
and at the very least,
I'll definitely agree with you.
You'll go to 18 life, and then you get to follow up with Bloodhoof Brave, and you can even activate it with the Cruel Taskmaster.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can remove all the minions, it tends to be better than trying to play a minion battle into, because they're the deck playing tons of combat tricks. They've got all the buffs in the world.
At 19, I mean, maybe he's eyeing the revenge as being able to sweep up like a Forbidden Ritual here, so wouldn't use the Fiery War Axe. But Forbidden Ritual's going to deal a lot of damage.
He would cast Forbidden Ritual either way.
Yeah, exactly.
If the Juggler dies and his reload is Forbidden Ritual, he would do it anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's risky, but it honestly just seems greedy to me. But he will get the Cruel Task now on the Juggler if he wants it.
Karen joins the party. It's got to be Brave, and it's got to be Cruel Taskmaster. And honestly, at this point, he's paid a little bit of life, and it's gotten him an extra charge of Fiery War Axe.
Sea Giant can come down now. And so, a big worry this match was if those cards would be dead. I mean, I gotta think Neobility recognizes that and just gets it out while he can.
I'm just gonna keep going. Possessed Villager does add a lot of resilience to your board. You've already seen a Brawl.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna go with Sea Giant though.
Goes with the golden one.
Yeah, I like it. That wheel spinning on his belt. Give you a perspective of how big that guy actually is.
Scar Trueheart.
That's a big one.
It's pretty good, especially because there's not really a way for Neobility to kill it.
Yeah, I like taking out this Possessed Villager here to get that Bloodhoof Brave up to a 5/5.
Yeah, could do that. It's gonna put a little extra damage onto the Sea Giant. And this will start enabling that Shield Slam, but man, I think the second Sea Giant's gonna come out.
I mean, it is. And Prelude's thinking whether or not he wants to tank up or whether or not he wants his Karen on board.
I think you tank up, because
I think
that
tank up too.
That Shield Slam needs to be live really soon, or else it's never gonna be live again. With tank up, it is always relevant. Power overwhelming. Is that gonna be?
That can't connect for 8 at this point.
I think the play this turn might be Argus Sea Giant, hit and then kill off either the Cruel Task or.
Well, second Sea Giant doesn't look like it's getting played at this point. Yeah, the Sea Giant body.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll use Direwolf Alpha to clean up that Justicar and then drop Defender of
Taunt
Argus on these.
the
This is a
non-Sea
strong
Giant
turn.
minions. Yeah. Gonna protect the Sea Giant maybe? Yep.
The shield Slam being very valuable at this point.
Revenge not active yet. Black Knight picked up.
Wow.
He will have to face tank unless he wants to Shield Slam, which he can just clear the board, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is a full board clear with that Black Knight.
Jeez. What a great pickup.
Very rarely you find Black Knight value in the Zoo matchup.
Yeah.
This is all Prelude in this game so far.
Well, Sea Giant's still playable. He'd have to choose not to life tap if he wanted to play it, and I feel like the fact that tank up is out means it's gonna be a hard pressed to find a way to win this game through that.
Dark Peddler will give him a little bit of extra utility to work with.
Yep. Definitely a matchup you always play out, but from here on out, Warrior's just gonna be drawing bomb after bomb while you just draw 2 drops.
Sea Giant, I think, is going to be the difference maker in this one. I mean, if that guy can connect, and with that Gore-Howl, you're looking at the rest of this board being cleaned up.
Yep.
Now, Karen still might be a better threat to play just to start getting repetitive damage out of that body.
I wouldn't mind Karen.
Honestly, I think it's just better.
Yeah.
And he's going to start the assault.
No, going face is good here because it sets up the lethal with either of your bodies.
I love this play. Great spot for Prelude. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Not even close. This needs to be a taunt, and it's not. Forbidden Ritual can't.
He could in theory clear literally both of them.
That's a really heavy price to pay, but with Forbidden Ritual, it might be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you probably PO the villager, kill Cairn, and get some juggles. Man. Maybe you get
can actually maybe even play the Sea Giant if he does that, because he could trade in the Dark Peddler afterwards.
Well, then he'd only get 1 tentacle.
Well, no, you can make the tentacles first and then trade in the Dark Peddler to make room. Oh, you don't have the mana to place.
Yeah. That would cost all of his mana. It looks like he's going to be ignoring the Cairn. Can't blame him for this, but that is going to cause him to fall to the Gorehowl.
Yeah, 11 damage for Prelude. He jumps out to a quick 1-0 lead, and quick usually isn't the word you use when you're talking about Control Warrior.
Yep.
But man, is that some damage.
Yep. Very well played by him. Definitely drew the correct cards to deal with those zoo board states. Neobility, you know, took a line where he was hoping there was no removal and no damage to kill him. Just could maybe take the long game. Don't blame him for it. But Prelude locks up that Control Warrior deck.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing those aggro decks, you're often kind of flying by the seat of your pants and just hoping nothing goes wrong. And tell you what, when you run into some turbulence, some bad things can happen.
Warrior has definitely been turbulence in Hearthstone for the past few years.
When it comes to those aggro decks.
Patron control, you name it. Aggro.
Just got a heroic strike him.
Yeah.
It's kind of a heroic strike from Prelude in this one. I mean, he's looking poised to take this set. I mean, get Warrior out of the way. He's got Warlock and Paladin left to win with. And I'll tell you what, the old Warlock versus Paladin not shaping up so well thus far.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, okay, so he gets the Paladin, the Warlock into Warlock. And this is going to work out really well for Neobility. This is probably, like you just pointed out, Warlock, Zoo not very good against Paladin.
Yeah.
So hitting this matchup is important for him. Maybe he can get the Zoo in here, have a best of 3 left where he has to beat Reno. And
look at that hand from Prelude.
And there's the Imp Gang boss again. It's like magic.
Demon Wrath, Dark Peddler, Imp Gang boss, Health. I don't think you could choose 4 cards you want more.
Oh, maybe a Forbidden Ritual? I don't know.
I'll tell you what, if his next draw is Reno Jackson, I'm calling back.
And I'm right there with you. 2 Power Overwhelming's already in the hand for Neobility. Definitely looking for a burst out strategy here to close out this game, potentially before Reno could be played. He does have the Darkshire Councilman and one of those synergy cards to buff with it, the Bielfin Tidehunter. Obviously just going to go with the Darkshire Councilman this turn. No trades here. Swing and face. And the ever so common turn 3 Imp Gang boss is going to start mopping up this board.
I mean, this is looking brutal for Neobility. I mean,
yeah. He does have the Darkshire Councilman, and it's going to get some buffs. He has some knife juggles to come out. The turn 3, not insane for Prelude, but he has all the board clears to back it up. I mean, even if he falls behind a little bit, he's got both Hellfire and Demon Wrath. I mean, something you've touched on is that, oh, woo! Wow.
Woo! That is a hot draw right now.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, Darkshire Councilman can just trade up 12, 13, 14,
no,
15.
I mean, it's not lethal, but it definitely sets up a plan in your mind.
I mean, maybe it's Knife Juggler, Bielfin Tidehunter.
Base?
Base. I mean,
depending on where those knives go, yeah, I mean,
you're looking at 3.
Yeah, it's going to die to corruption, but man, if that corruption wasn't there, this game would be so different. Get 2 knives here. Probably don't want to see him go into that Dark Peddler. So you might trade it. Yeah, he's going to trade with that first. Get some more relevant knives here. Really wants to hit the Imp Gang boss and the Imp. First one's on the Imp. Oh, critical juggles. And it gets there. He's going to ignore that 1-1. I don't blame him.
Well,
but
my buddy Demon Wrath has wants to have a word with you, Neobility.
Not like this.
Full clear for Prelude, and he's left with a minute on board. Just bashing in for 1. He's been thinking about a 1-1.
Yeah.
Forbidden Ancient.
1-1 for 1. That's worse than Wisp. Well, Bran comes down and the right. Oh, thinks about Forbidden Ritual.
I think you're saving that one for next turn.
Yeah, agreed. That'll make 6-1 once you saw a board clear. I mean, there happens to be another one, but
No, just in case.
yeah. Bran, triple PO. It's going to be representing 14. No card really does 6. Even with Bran, Abusive would be representing 4. And there's even going to be a heal. So I think it's going to be 1-1s. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a while, but
I mean, you say a while. It's in 2 turns, buddy.
18 from hand. Just zoo things. He's even going to get the 4 value out of Abusive. Passes up a 1-1, but definitely worth it. Puts him to 18, and that just happens to be exactly the amount of damage that Leroy triple PO does. Yeah, unnerfed Leroy would have finished this job a turn ago.
I think Prelude is lost.
Is he dead?
13, and that is
14
from Leroy.
Leroy!
Jenkins! Neobility doesn't need that 3rd power overwhelming, and he's going to tie this series up at 1 game apiece. Warlock tucked away from him now.
That is a huge win to have. I mean, if not just to even the series out, gets the zoo out of the way, doesn't have to beat Paladin with it, and more importantly, finds some room for his patron warrior to get a win in this matchup.
And something else that's really important here too, I mean, it's not to this match, I just wanted to point it out, the difference between Doomguard and Leroy Jenkins. With Doomguard there's a chance he just can't kill him. If he discards 2 power overwhelmings, no presence on board means less burst from hand.
Yep.
Running that Leroy Jenkins means that in some of the trade battles, you don't have that big body that can sit on board and continue to buy you value as you life tap back to a big board state. But it offers closing potential.
Well, I really like the way he's gone with this build. It seems like he has a little more power in aggressive matchups with like Bilefen Tidehunter, cards like that. Giving him extra taunt along with just extra tokens to use to synergize with Knife Juggler and such. And then against control, he replaces Doomguards with the Leroy package of just, 1 card, Leroy.
The Leroy package
That's enough to kill them.
Leroy Jenkins and 5 mana.
Well, sometimes you need
stellar
8.
Combo. 6 damage.
I love it.
Yes. Neutral Fireball. Sometimes.
5 mana neutral Fireball.
Yeah, it's going to be Shaman from Neobility versus Reno Warlock for Prelude.
Hellfire, a big draw.
Yeah, something else we've seen from Neobility's build is that Elemental Destruction, which I think in some of the more aggressive matchups has been suiting really well, alongside Eternal Sentinel and maybe even Lava Shock. But against Reno Warlock, Elemental Destruction's not really the prettiest card.
2 Rock Biters. If a Doomhammer is picked up, that could just be game.
Honestly, Forbidden Ritual for 2 is not looking that bad here.
Yeah. I'm definitely down with you on that. Get the Mortal Coil down next turn to clean up, maybe. I think we're just going to see Coin Ferals, though.
Yeah, I mean, for Neobility, this is kind of spelled out. If he does have Rockbiter on turn 3 as well, and then roll straight into Flame Wreath, Faceless. And I think that's where his main assault is going to come from. Now, that being said, seeing him make 2 1-1s.
I wonder if you trade.
That's exactly what I'm wondering, too. I mean, this is a really peculiar play.
If you don't trade, you're very weak to Demon Wrath.
Yeah.
And you're also weak, a little weak, to Mortal Coil.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and trade. And that'll be life tap for Prelude. Just pass it up. So the damage is going to start pouring on a little bit here.
Yep. We'll have to see if he chooses to pass up 2 damage, maybe pass up 0 damage. All face for Neobility here.
Twilight Drake going to be a bit of a problem for this board, but Flame Wreath Faceless is probably going to be a bit of a bigger problem.
Maybe he just has to Hellfire now.
I mean, that's a possibility too. I mean, you can't afford to take
Drake
too
is
much
just
damage.
a slower way of dealing with this.
That's a good point.
Like, without a Defender of Argus to make it so that it has to be punched through. And there's even the risk of Earthshock.
The only thing I see about the Drake is if your opponent plays Flame Wreath Faceless, how are you going to kill it?
Oh, that's true. You could go Hellfire and trade.
Yeah.
Very good spot there. I mean, I think that's something he needs to consider, not something I immediately considered, and might pay for it. I don't see anything in my eyes except this 4-mana 7/7, especially with the Sentinel to follow it up.
I'm going to keep making these noises. Big Game Hunter. Oh, hey.
Same.
Faceless, faceless. Mine doesn't overload. And it's golden.
Well, it did cost more.
Yeah. And Neobility can actually back his up with Barrel Spirits.
Yeah.
Which
And
is going to be straight into Siphon Soul, but I still think this is pretty good.
Yeah, the question is, after the Siphon Soul, I don't think it's going to be quite game yet. Only 8 points out of hand, and
Shadow Flame?
Shadow Flame would
Not
be
Shadow
good.
Flame.
Nope. Gotta go with the Siphon.
No other play available. I mean, all of the rest of them are just too weak.
Not enough mana for the lethal here.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Never lucky.
And Reno is a thing.
And look at Neobility. He's like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah. No real way he could have.
He's like, this overload's really going to mess me up like this.
I think you go just Flame Tongue Totem. Use your other totem. Ship it to face.
And hope.
Pray no Reno.
I've done that dance before.
The no Reno dance.
It's kind of like a rain dance.
What's it look like? Give me a little. Just imagine you doing that. Jeez. I'm shipping it face here.
I am never not shipping it to face here. But, I mean, trading... Does trading have any merit here whatsoever?
Trade?
No way. 5 to face.
Nope.
Let's go.
Reno or bust.
That's not a Reno.
Ooh. Is there anything he can do? I mean, he can coil his own guy. Ellie Giggle.
I think that's the play.
You got to look at this board and think, what's my best chance? Is it to Shadow Bolt and hope there's no burn and 5 cards?
Way.
Is it to Mortal Coil my own 7/1?
I think it is.
Yeah, it probably is.
This would be a 6 spot from Prelude if he goes for that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not going to be in the cards this time, I don't think.
Unfortunately, a bit too sick, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... I mean, you might have a better chance of just hoping they don't have burn, honestly. I mean, this board's like a
Any burn spell, man.
Yeah.
Scam on.
Rockbiter wouldn't do it,
Yeah.
but that's going to end the game. Neobility does have the burn. And a
2-1
in his first series. Neobility does have to win back-to-back sets if he's going to win this championship. It is the winner's advantage. Prelude has not dropped a set up to this point, and this is a double elimination tournament.
Yep, so now it's all down to the Patron Warrior. It's come to this. Needs to get a win against Reno or Paladin. I feel like we've been saying this a lot. And so far for Prelude, obviously, that hasn't happened to him yet. He's gotten the win against Patron every time.
Yeah, and I don't suspect he's going to be struggling too much with it in this series either. Again, just the amount of board clears he has, plus the stabilization with that Reno Jackson. I mean, if he puts together that combination with Warlock, Paladin's been looking so good versus Warrior. I mean, I don't know if...
Yeah, it's just been a slow grind out every time.
And I mean, like, every time. And he's going to go for it even first. He wants to say, you know what,
Now,
Neobility, you've got one game to beat me.
And those are good cards to keep. Woo. We saw True Silver just 2 matches ago be incredible against Patron Warrior. It mops up the early Frothing Berserker, maybe even an Armor Smith if you need to. Shut down that Battle Rage. I mean, we've seen Prelude be, smart enough to just not attack ever. He's not enabling that Battle Rage.
No. He just grinds them out. I mean, that's...
Yeah, you don't need to kill him.
Paladin possesses the power to just grind their opponent's resources into the dust.
Very similar to the old Murloc Paladin, but instead of killing your opponent with your game ender, you just make a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So Neobility is going to coin out this Armor Smith.
Yep.
Do you think he's trying to get Doomsayer here?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm never playing Doomsayer into this.
I think he's just trying to beat him up. Aggro warrior, baby. It's like, let's get into the second set. 1.
29. 2. 28. Dang it, he had True Silver.
It's like exactly how you sound when we play. Like you just make a stupid play. You like Elven Archer my face and you're like, 29!
I'm winning. Wow, he actually is going to Doomsayer into this too.
Yeah, and that's not a problem.
Honestly, I think that's what Neobility was trying to get to happen with this coin Armor Smith.
You're right. He saw that there was a 2 keep. And a card you keep every time is Doomsayer.
Yep.
Sets up the axe. There's no ooze from Prelude. That's in the deck though. But an ooze could have been devastating there.
Yep, we'll try to turn that one into a liability with his Acolyte Pain, but there are 2 different ways to answer this.
I gotta feel like it's gonna be Keeper. Oh, he's thinking about killing the 1/1.
I mean, it does prevent Keeper.
Super unintuitive, but it also damages you for
yeah, those are both really good points.
I mean, if your opponent has True Silver, they have True Silver. If they don't, they Hero Power.
And he's not going to Hero Power.
They don't Hero Power, yeah.
I still do agree with passing because of how unintuitive it is to play it.
That feels bad.
It's going to get squashed. Prelude takes it out.
Yep.
3-2 and 3-4 on board. Even with Drone Ravaging Ghoul.
Blood to Ichor, though. That's a full clear. He can develop a 3-3 and a 2-1 if he wants to.
You know, using those effects when you have Acolyte Pain in hand, though,
feels bad.
I think he might have to, though. I mean,
I think I like it.
He's got to get going.
Yeah. Again, he is the aggressor here. He's going to need to find a window where he can stick some threats, get some chip damage in, and set up maybe a Grommash push.
You'll notice one of the things that's causing so many problems for Patron is when you actually don't pose little threats.
Yes.
Like, you need kind of these medium-sized cards that threaten just enough value and are kind of awkward to deal with.
Yeah, and this is one of them. One of those cards that needs to be answered immediately. Of course, there is a True Silver that's going to come out, so everything's showing up Prelude in this first match.
True Silver Champion, a very effective answer to Crawling Berserker right now. And the damage starts. I mean, you just slowly chip him away. Free ya. That's a lightning bolt.
Right now, Paladin's winning the race.
He's ahead.
Not even close. Well, he's 1 mana off the Acolyte Ravaging Ghoul combo, which I'm sure he'd like to do.
Yeah, wants to get his Armor Smith damage, so that way he can activate Battle Rage easier.
Yeah.
Very smart spot here from Neobility.
Yep. You're gonna find in this matchup a lot of times health on minions, health on heroes, not relevant for the Patron Warrior. They just want to do their thing.
Not a lot of strong plays here from Prelude. I mean,
yep. Do you kill the Armor Smith because it's damage?
Well, he can just damage it on the Investitor.
Yeah, I know. So no.
I mean, you could kill it and then use the Eldor Peacekeeper to contest.
Ooh. And just not Hero Power. Obviously.
Yeah. I mean, that's if your goal is to shut down
Battle Rage.
Now, if you're not concerned with Battle Rage, obviously that play is terrible. But it's going to boil down to where his thought process is. And obviously, we can't read his mind.
Right.
So explaining his play afterwards, that's the best shot we got.
I mean, I feel like these guys that we've seen in these past 2 matches, we saw 2 rematches with Neobility in both, and they're kind of metagaming each other. Like, they're getting to the point where they're playing around Battle Rage a lot, playing forward Battle Rage. We saw a turn 5 pass in one of Neobility's games. He just did nothing. He said go. Because he wanted to Battle Rage. He didn't even have Battle Rage in hand. He just wanted it.
If I draw it, it's going to be necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to pick up 3 cards
This
here.
is exactly what he was looking for.
Yeah, that Infested Torrent is actually like a really big nuisance
Finley's
right
a nice
now.
pickup as well. Maybe he can get a more relevant hero power. Harrison, if a second True Silver is drawn. Man, if if he can force out that equality, the Paladin's getting pretty low on cards.
Yeah, I don't think that equality's coming out anytime soon.
Yeah, I think you're right on that
Prelude
one.
has been playing so well. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, just the 6/6 body of the corrupted Healbot is pretty nuts, just for forcing things out.
I guess the question here is clean up the Armor Smith or the Acolyte. And again, life total just doesn't matter from Prelude's perspective. He goes, have all the armor you want, I'm eventually going to kill you.
I gotta think you gotta kill the Acolyte. The 2/2 isn't really representing much. Armor doesn't mean much. And yeah, cards mean a lot. For Neobility, he's getting close to the amount of cards where he might be able to put together 2 Patron pushes. First one gets cleared, here's another one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna I think it's gonna start with this Finley.
Finley, definitely a great card here. Armor up, pretty useless. He's used it, I think, once.
It's a great hero power.
Not in this matchup.
Yeah.
Also, just in general, not for the Patron deck, that being the reason why Finley's in.
I mean, I don't think Neobility's ever looking at his hand and going, you know what, I just gotta go for it.
I don't think so either. Really what we've seen.
Well, I mean, I've been wrong a lot in this tournament so far. He is gonna go for it.
I like this, actually. Because I feel like he's been in situations so often this weekend, just today specifically, where he hasn't gone for it, and then it's just too late. And now he's thinking, I'm not going to make the same mistake.
Yeah, it's not, look, I am never opposed to going for it.
Oh, me neither.
Your opponent has to have the right cards, and I'll tell you what, that card interacts with a lot of Patron Warriors effects.
Gotta be a board clear out here.
And it's gonna add a 5/5 to the board.
Oh, jeez.
This is massive for Prelude.
I'll tell you what would be massive, though. Another Patron wave. Could be something to get him into this game. He's got the Mage hero power to make 4 if he drew it. No.
Maybe just Grom for him.
Every time we've seen that play, the Warrior has lost. Every time.
Have they?
Yeah.
No.
Every time.
Grom 4 is a classic Warrior play.
Ah, the classic Grom 4. The white flag.
Ragnaros Light Lord, do you pass or do you? Yeah, I mean, obviously
you pass. Yep, you want it to heal that 5/2.
I think there's a possibility Prelude would have seen Execute there if it was available.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the cause of this.
Live insect.
That is a great result. Hey!
Execute off the top has to be.
Okay, so how does he enable this damage and where does he get going? I mean, I'm even looking at Harrison.
Harrison just has a body, yeah.
Yeah, but
potentially.
Here's the thing, if Prelude draws True Silver Champion after that Harrison, Neobility is going to feel very foolish for that.
Well, sometimes you gotta feel foolish. I mean, you can wait all day until the second True Silver is picked up, or you can get a 5/4 on the board.
Yeah, so looking like he wants to Whirlwind, so that way he can set up a big push here.
Yeah.
Maybe Korkron even trades, so that way Aldor Peacekeeper is looking a little bit
Oh,
weaker.
yeah. You
But
could go.
I really like this though, because a 2/6 Bloodbirth Brave is not challenged
gonna
by
die.
that 5/5.
Yeah.
So if he just Korkron's here, buys himself a Whirlwind.
What I really like is that Whirlwind could be game ending with the Patron. Okay, well, when you pick up the second equality, you know, sometimes, but.
I mean, even still though, this is not looking like the greatest of spots.
He is low on cards, and I mean, this is the problem sometimes with his build is he's got so many death rattles, but if you don't have the card draw to get to the cards you need, or the N'Zoth, those death rattles are technically weaker cards. He's drawn 7 less cards this game than Neobility has.
I think he's eyeing consequence. Despite that, by the way, an equal amount of cards. So
yeah,
something to consider.
Exactly,
for sure.
of course. The Paladin answers are super efficient.
Yeah, so it is going to be Consecrate.
And Aldor.
Yep, just hero power up.
Still Pretty brutal.
A little baby Korkron.
Aw, he's so cute.
Fiery Orax, maybe some reach in sight.
I mean, I feel like this might be the Grom turn.
You know what?
Grom for 4.
I think I like Fiery Orax just a little bit more. And here's
you can do
why.
both.
Well, what I'm saying is not Grom and 4. I'm thinking Fiery Warax, make a face push. If he draws inner range, it's lethal. Or if he can follow with another charge minion, it could be lethal as well. Now, I don't think he's going to do that.
That wasn't something I was really looking towards, and
yeah,
I don't think Neobility's looking either, because Forbidden Healing, I believe, is a card that you can easily place your opponent on you. I wouldn't mind the 5-4. Not going to go for it.
What was that pickup? I'll tell you what, a welcome sight. Just anything to fight for board presence.
Yep. I mean, that face push well could have worked out because there is no healing there. Blood to Ichor, not awful. Man, I want to Grom face.
How do you win after that?
You Grom him face twice. He has to have an answer. The answer right now is equality, and that opens up hatred.
So only 7 damage would be contesting the board spot
Right.
with Grom at 8 health.
Yes.
I actually really like that play.
Go Grom, ping your Grom, kill the 3-2 face. Your opponent has to do something.
What about Blood for Ichor the Grom? Or Blood to Ichor, rather.
I feel like one of his win conditions is Patron.
Okay, at post Grom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just Patron in general.
He is eyeing Blood to Ichor and Whirlwind as well. And, you know, Patron still would be kind of active with that Mage Hero power.
Blood to Ichor. Doesn't look like Grom's coming out.
Slowing down.
Yeah, I mean, not a huge fan of it, but would have gotten answered pretty easily. The humility. Jeez, I mean, this feels like the slow chokeout's coming. Might have to be a face push. Second Korkron would be really nice. Frothing not doing much, though.
I mean, at this point, it is pure desperation, I think. And the pure desperation doesn't even work that well because your opponent has the Sylvanas on board, so they steal your Grom.
You can clear the Sylv if you Whirlwind and ping it. Huh. So yeah, he's just going to challenge the Sylv with this. Unfortunately, got to be met by humility.
Well, that's actually not that unfortunate.
Well, he just won't have a way to ever kill the Sylv.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to draw a way to kill Sylvanas and then have the Grom start connecting.
Second War Axe would be. Oh, that could be a way to lose.
I know, this is.
Oh, jeez. You definitely don't take aim. He's gonna True Silver it. Oh my gosh. For Neobility, that might be the best draw.
What if he just sets it and says
in the
go?
deck? He might not set it.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
What a turn from Prelude. The fact that he doesn't use True Silver Champion.
And now I think you have to play Harrison. Oh my God.
I think he just Grim Patron.
Just one Grim Patron.
Yeah, ping off the 1/1, challenge the Sylvanas.
So this is going to force the True Silver, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you can consecrate now, duplicate the
he's
Patron,
gonna
steal the 3/3.
Silver.
But he is going to True Silver.
You could consecrate.
Yeah, that does
I
give up
didn't
his
think of
equality
that.
consecrate combo though.
Yeah.
So
Which
that's
is
obviously something he's eyeing right
probably pretty good this game.
now. Yeah, so Neobility's patience.
War Axe this
Maybe
turn.
showing some light at the end of this tunnel.
War Axe this turn would be very solid. Inner range. If you can get a War Axe, you can just go face.
Slam. You draw a card from that.
Cycle it, yep. Why
Still
not?
looking for that fiery War Axe. I mean, that is a huge draw if he picks it up. Battle Rage is...
Do you give up the ping?
Yeah.
Yes, you do. Needs to find that axe.
Ravaging Ghoul's not looking too bad either. Look, that Sylvanas is pretty lined up in trading right now. I don't think that Prelude's
kind of has
taking
to.
5 damage.
Oh, man.
Geez. I think that may have locked this one up. I mean, at 25 HP, Forbidden Healing joins the party. This is all Prelude from here on out. It's only a couple of 1/1s, but the big story here is that Neobility is just about out of resources.
Literally.
And he's got 1 card left
This is
in
it.
the
This
deck.
is the push. I mean,
there is no hesitation anymore. Has to be Ravaging Bull, sorry. Has to be Kor'kron Elite. This is going to be met and then some.
Yep, this sets up lethal.
Oh, jeez.
All the
Prelude's gonna
options
put
in
his
the world.
faith in the light. And Neobility has one card left to try to win this game. And I don't think it's there, Chalky.
Yep, it's going to be Execute. Didn't have that axe that we were thinking he might have had. Obviously used 2 this game and we lost track. But not really going to be a way to win this one. Maybe you execute the Tyrion. Really hope there's nothing there, but I think a Forbidden Healing for 20, okay, is going to lock this game up.
I think that Neobility's last hope is that there just is no equality left in hand.
There's nothing. There has to be nothing. Because he needs a minion to live as well. He needs him to face tank a minion, and what's going to happen is Forbidden Healing.
Forbidden Healing for 8.
I'm down with Forbidden Healing for 20.
Let's go for 20.
How do you lose with that? You know his card is Grom. That's going to wrap up the game. No way the Gromish alone can end this game.
Unless Prelude forgets how to play Hearthstone.
Unfortunately, I think the only undefeated player this weekend isn't going to do that. He's going to tie up the series 2-2.
Woo! We're going into game number 5. If Neobility wants to have a chance to win, he has to win this game number 5.
Yep.
Again, with the winner's advantage, Prelude needs to win 1 set. Neobility needs to win 2 sets in a row. Prelude has yet to drop a match the entire tournament.
And I mean, everything keeps coming back up. This is the exact same matchup we saw in their last match that decided it. It was looking like it was Neobility going to take it with a Patron Wave and no answer. But a Hellfire off the top and then a Twisting Nether off the top got Prelude into the game. Areno secured it, and he moved on. That's what got him here. Neobility fought back, but this time things have to be different.
So here we go. Now Prelude does have a lot of top end in this Reno Warlock deck. I think he's happy to be pitching one away from his opening hand.
Well, Twisting Nether is going to guarantee that late game there is an answer to Patron, but I mean, just earlier we saw him keep Twisting Nether and lose to Patron because he just died.
It's definitely a possibility. Dark Peddler is certainly a welcome sight.
This is a pretty aggressive hand.
You know, when Reno kind of opens up like it's a zoo deck, it's looking pretty good. He's going to forego the Peddler here. I actually kind of like this.
Well, doesn't walk into the War Axe. Also doesn't walk into Coin Acolyte, potentially.
Yeah, that's a really smart spot.
Yep. Say equip go.
Shadow Bolt, just more removal for him.
And he is just tapping to get to the removal. I think he feels like if he can get to the end game, if he can find Reno, Hellfire, and the like, it's going to be GG.
This will require some amount of attention.
Yep. Probably looks like he's eyeing Shadow Bolt here. It is kind of a premium removal against the Patron. Removes almost all their minions. But he's gonna have to hit that, and 2 Kor'kron Elites. Gonna be Kor'kron.
I mean, these are some of the heaviest hitters
There's no Dark
the Reno deck. Exactly. And this requires some major attention right now. 2 charges of the Fiery War Axe left.
Well, there's nothing he can do about it.
Well,
so
Psychotron's pretty good.
Yeah.
It matches up fairly well here.
Well, Slam is good to take off the shield, but he's gonna need 1 extra point of damage somewhere if he wants to kill it with his axe instead of his Kor'kron.
Yeah, this might be a Frowning Berserker turn.
Yeah.
And just, you know, replace this with a 4/4.
You can always draw Blood to Acre and still coin it out, so.
Yeah, that as well.
Or a Whirlwind.
Yeah,
Nope.
That one's pretty much no use right now, so that Shadow Bolt's gone.
Yeah. Not a great pickup. And his hand is full, I believe, so.
It's 9 cards at the moment. Looking at Brand, but Brand Peddler Fish for Soulfire, maybe?
So many possibilities.
That would be definitely something you could go for. Odds are pretty good.
Buying or selling.
Go long way towards locking up.
You do
Last
discover
win.
class cards a lot more often than you discover
and you get
neutrals.
2 chances.
First one's Shifter's Eras.
Wacky.
Second Mortal Coil. So, still is lined up to take out this Crawling Berserker with 9 cards in hand. I gotta believe this is just pass.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there really? Shifter's Eras 1-1.
Sometimes you just gotta get in there.
I've done it.
He's thinking about Forbidden Ritual for one.
Yeah, that seems weird to me. I mean,
Whirlwind gets picked up. Wait, how much damage is this?
is there any world where you... Yeah, he's going to go with Korkron. And I mean,
This is looking pretty bad.
there is no answer. There is an answer, actually. Demon Wrath, double Mortal Coil could take out this... And I mean,
That's
it
7
probably
damage,
has to.
though. Buccaneer.
Buccaneer.
He can Shadow Flame it and double Mortal Coil.
Well,
He's like, wait a minute, I can Shadow Flame that and double Mortal Coil.
he does. He did pick up Shadow Flame as well. Yeah. So he's going to have answers to Patron Waves. Both Korkron's gone. That's a lot of charge damage out of the way.
Jiraxis. I mean, that card's basically unplayable in this
Just
matchup.
rituals for 2/1/1s.
I think this is a Patron Wave.
Dude, if he picked up Grommash, that was lethal. He is basically a Grommash away any of these turns from winning. I'm completely down with the Patron Wave. You can just make 2.
Yeah, just Patron and Whirlwind. Go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, that will force attention.
And it's not like you really want the Whirlwind for much else. Definitely works with the Frothing, but I don't want to play Frothing into 2/1/1s.
Be a bit of foreshadowing in that power overwhelming.
Yeah,
And then it dies.
exactly. Horribly.
This is a tough turn for
Gosh.
Neobility.
I feel like the Patrons, it doesn't actually set up lethal if you only make 2, but putting you in a pretty solid spot.
Doesn't be a swing with the Fiery War Axe.
Well, you only have, oh, you've got 2 axes.
Now, you're gonna take a much more conservative route here.
Oh man. Well, Power Overwhelming is gonna be able to kill off. Reno would probably be the best draw in the deck any of these turns. Doomsayer not bad either. Can create some awkward board tension.
I'm a little stumped.
Gosh, just look at the stress Neobility is under. It's not even his turn and he's just in the tank.
I mean, I can guarantee. Wow, can you
If
imagine
he
if would've
played
set
that
Fiery War
axe.
Every little thing is making such a big difference,
These guys have made sick reads.
to say the least.
I mean, it's kind of, you know, you can make a joke out of it. It's like, yeah, he really read that top deck, but just playing around that in the first place, we saw this last match too with the True Silver from Prelude. Not going to be lethal with the Grommash pickup. He's going to be able to answer a 3/3 and maybe develop some more. That's going to stop the development, but it also makes it so he doesn't have to axe the 3/3. He can axe face if he wants.
You know, Axe Face doesn't quite set up lethal because of that ooze.
Yep.
Would be 1 damage off. Yeah, but I think this slam is just going to end up drawing a card.
Cycle. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he has some intention of killing.
It's pretty hard
Doomsayer,
to
like
kill
a
the
perfect
Doomsayer.
draw.
It's pretty hard to kill it and the 3/3. And then at the end of the day, what development can you get from it?
Yeah, but this is almost purely for the cycle.
Yeah.
I think Neobility needs that second Battle Rage.
Whoa. He's gonna kill it.
Inner Rage going to be used here.
Okay, this sets up a nice board. Does use up the Inner Age, but he has the Whirlwind and the Blood to Ichor.
Here's the thing, Neobility's playing for that Grom draw. So every time he gets 6 damage to stick to the board,
Yeah,
it's threatening.
And the other thing is,
Prelude's seen him try to set this up like 4 times in a row too.
well, I also, yeah, I mean, he's got to think he has Grom.
I don't think he has Grom because it would have been lethal already, but
Well, he could have picked it up within the past 2 or 3 turns when it
definitely
wasn't
possible.
lethal on those turns. But he's only had one window where it was lethal, and that was with Inner Rage in the coin on turn 7.
I'm going to be honest, if he Shadow Flames this, that's going to look really, really
Yes.
tough.
To not go into Patrons.
Yeah, I know. This is brutes.
But, I mean,
So
he's got the type of
many
hand where he can just go Grim Patron, Blood to Ichor. He doesn't have to make 4 necessarily.
He might even just play Harrison Jones.
Yeah, definitely a possibility. It's looking like a taunt. Looking like Ooze Harvest taunts up with the defender.
I like this a lot.
Holding back those board clears. The weapons are gone, so the Grom lethal is a lot less threatening. Armistice not a good pickup.
I mean, that's about the worst draw in the deck right now.
Yeah, he's gonna need, I mean, Finley into a good hero power, Battle Rage.
I mean, Prelude has just played this perfectly. He's got every
There's
tool
nothing
available.
Neobility can cook. His pasta's crazy.
A bit of an interesting sequence there from Neobility, foregoing the second armor. I mean, you can see the pressure.
Tank
he's getting.
down.
I mean, we're talking Neobility has played almost perfectly. Just look at the stress on him. I mean,
Yeah, and I mean, that armor's not gonna matter, but you can just see how it affects him. He's like, man, I'm not playing well.
you miss that play, you think to yourself, what else have I missed this game? You know, the last thing he needs to do is backtrack right
man.
now. He needs to focus on how he's going to get this game done.
Honestly, the mental aspect of having lost almost this picture-perfect, like, patron game 5 times to the same guy, different matchups, and every time it's been seemingly this exact pan out. You're almost there. Grom is almost lethal. You can almost make it. Oh no, I have to go for desperation, patron. Oh no, they have the clear.
Hellfire's still looking pretty good here, too. I think he's just going to taunt up and take out some of these minions, but
Yep, another taunt. Amish. Not gonna be lethal through this. Inner Rage picked up though. Honestly, Grom is still gonna be lethal pretty soon. Because he's gonna have the Inner Rage to push the extra damage. If he can get just a couple of points through.
I don't know if he can.
What now?
I mean,
Wow.
where does the couple of points come from?
Yeah, that's the question. Guess if he could pick up maybe an execute to punch through a taunt, but he's probably just gonna have to punch through the taunts this turn.
I wonder.
Jeez. He can get 1 extra point. He can set Prelude to 13 or to 11 if you wanted to Inner Rage. You'd have to use Whirlwind to clear out the taunt though, or Blood to Ichor.
Blood to Ichor for no 2-2 feels really bad. An Inner Rage expenditure.
Inner Rage?
I think Patron Whirlwind's even better than this.
Where's he going with the armor? So he needs to get the attack off. Looks like he did get it off. Yep.
He's trying
The
to
game
bait
planner's not
Prelude
gonna
into
do it.
attacking the Armor Smith here, I think. So he can connect for 5 and have
Oh.
Grom as a draw.
No.
I mean,
He's never leaving that out.
I agree with you, but I think that's...
I think
we've seen
Jiraxis
Neobility
is
kinda
the play. I think you trade Jiraxis and kill off that armor smith.
I mean, that leaves
Harrison
Reno
Jones is already
dead
out.
in the water, though.
It is true. But I mean, are you ever going to tap from this point on?
I think I just play the Emperor.
And that's
Trade,
fair
play
too.
Emperor. Yeah.
Neobility's sitting on 3 cards. I mean, you can kind of narrow his range
That's the
down.
thing too. We just saw Interage. I mean, tapping is on the menu this turn, I think.
Jeez. Kind of right. Gonna trade. He's gonna Emperor, like you said, and looks like no tap. Thinks he's good enough here. Jeez.
It has been utility card after utility card.
No Battle Rage, no Finley, and no Gromish. And here,
Cannot wait any longer.
oh no.
And I think Prelude might have just wrapped this game up.
Not quite wrapped up yet, but it is looking bad after one of these board clears comes out.
He does have a lot of, like, he does have a distance to go here. I mean, there is 17, 19
I
armor.
think once Reno comes in, that's
gonna
gonna
draw
be,
it.
yeah, that's gonna be the ticket. But until then, it's not quite a good game. There's no axe and there's no Corcoran though. How do you get that 3 damage?
Smork shot.
Yeah, Finley.
Yeah.
Smart shot or Fire Blast. I mean, Fire Blast will be slower, but it still gets there, hopefully. And Jiraxis could be used to heal at some point. He's got his, a wealth of options here. Obviously, Hellfire is not going to be in.
He just snapped Hellfires.
Oh, Patrons, Hellfire.
He's going to Shadow Flame the Emperor instead of this Twilight Drake.
Yeah, he's gonna
Saw him
miss.
shake his head at that one.
He's gonna miss a health. And also, I think it was better to attack into the Armor Smith than attack face.
There's no play here from Neobility. It is armor up pass.
Leroy, pretty dead, honestly.
I think you just Jiraxis. I mean, Neobility has nothing left. If you just Jiraxis or cranking out 6/6s, you got to get this game over with.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe you life tap instead. He's just gonna pass.
And here it is. Tank up. I think he's looking for Hunter. Fishing for Hunter. There it is.
He takes life tap.
Oh, what's his plan?
Get through some damage.
How's he gonna get the 3 in?
That's a good question, Chalky.
How is he gonna get the 3 in? What's the count on his cards here? He's gonna execute the Twilight Drake? Oh, maybe not. Maybe he's just going for the draw. He can Blood to Ichor for a 2/2.
I think I like the execute. Your opponent just did nothing. The Finley,
5 cards left.
the Finley is representing a damage.
What are
here.
these 5 cards? One is Gromash Hellscream.
Face us a Finley!
I mean, last turn he did nothing. Jiraxis is...
I mean, he could have had an
He has
extra
to do
6
something.
power on board.
He needs to do something. Or else... Siphon Soul on Finley?
It's a bit awkward, I'll admit.
It was either that or
Ow! That's gonna force a Twisting Nether.
Oh. 20 Bloodhoof. Oh my gosh, this game.
You just Ravage and Ghoul, I think. Put 3 3/3s out. Force your
Twisting
opponent into
Nether.
action.
Then you've got the Bloodhoof Brave. And if there's no Reno still, that could be good enough.
I mean, Prelude's got to Hellfire this, and that Twisting Nether needs to be saved, I think. Hellfire does not kill Bloodhoof Brave. It does not kill anything with 4 or greater health.
Oh my gosh!
Jeez!
Well, Hellfire Reno, right?
Yeah, you are right. Prelude might be rich right here.
Oh my gosh.
Neobility throws out a well played. We'll see where this ends up leading, but This damage is going to be so hard to get, and that's going to do it. Prelude is going to take this series and become the MSI EGLX Hearthstone Major Champion.
Yeah, great stuff from him. Undefeated the